All right, so welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin,
I'm Tarsha.
and this is, of course, Conversations with the Crawleys, where we have conversations about faith, family, relationships, and we do recaps, reviews, and commentary on some of our favorite shows. This one is a new show that we have started checking out called Love and Marriage DC. So if this is content that you enjoy, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe, hit the like, request notifications,
And share.
and we will see you in the comments. All right, so um, episode 4, I think. So
Right.
ladies have picked up with their conversation at the lunch table.
Call it the lunch table. Think like school lunch.
Oh,
I-
like the square pizzas.
Right. The
Oh,
square
so
pizza is where the bomb now. Out of all the
at
lunch.
your school, it might have been.
But having a square pizza,
Nah. Mm-mm.
well, they were at Ocean Prime.
Yeah, so it's definitely
For
upgraded.
lunch,
It's
right.
upgraded from
You're like, they're at the
school
lunch table. I'm like, there. Ocean's Prime is at the lunch table.
So they're having lunch
Right.
at a table at Ocean Prime, and there are no square pizzas to be found.
I know. They got
At least I hope
oysters.
not for that price.
Market price.
Okay, so they're picking up that conversation. They kind of resolved the whole, or at least got the Ashley Winter conversation from an escalated level to
Manageable.
to we gonna be acquaintances and we ain't friends. Yeah, to manageable.
Because Winter invites them all out saying, hey, I think we need to get to know each other. You know, we had this, you could say, blowout at the dinner table.
They had beef.
Right. And she's like, well, why is all this energy coming to me? And Ashley's like, only thing I know about you is your scummy husband that you found in the basement
of his
parents' house that you didn't know about, that you just married this dude, and you on your second marriage, but you a life coach to married people. I'm confused. And so Ashley's like, you know what? I don't apologize for having my opinion, but I apologize if it feel like it was coming off strong. Right. And she wanted to make sure there's a very different distinction between both things. And Winter was just pretty much like, look, I'm in the middle of this. I'm looking for more support than judgment, you know, or criticism from anybody right now. You know, and Ashley was just taking up, well, that's all we're talking about. So I'm trying to figure out what part of you messed up being someone of an expert supposedly in relationship or whatever. Right. So I guess they tend to say, we'll see where it goes, and hopefully we can learn, you know, what's going on with each other. And she apologized. She's like, you know, I know you're in the midst of this. My goal is not to add any additional, I guess, you know, trauma to what she's already going through. Right.
And Ashley talks about how she wasn't looking for slip-ups from Quick. She wasn't basically looking for evidence of him cheating on her. Right. She was kind of like, I had my thoughts, but I wasn't like checking his phone. I wasn't, you know, checking emails, all that stuff.
She wasn't paying I Spy.
Right.
It's like, because you are going to have rumors. People can say like, oh, I saw this girl hanging out. Right. And the girl might have a reputation, and then you're just going to make assumptions. So a lot of times following after rumors can cause discourse in a relationship when it doesn't need to. Right. So she's like, I have to trust them unless something comes across my path.
If it pops up, it pops up, but I'm not going digging for it. Right. That's what she's saying. Right. So cheers to them all being acquaintances at this time.
Cheers. How many more episodes do they have?
They got a lot. It don't look like it's going to be all fun and games as we move forward.
Right.
So Ashley meets with Sean, who is Quick's boss and father figure, about Quick's schedule.
Right. Like,
he shows up at his job like,
look, you need to pencil me in because I need my husband at home and not on the road like he's still 21.
And Quick walks in is like, okay,
what is going on?
Why is my wife in here?
What are you trying to change?
So we find out that there was a previous time where Quick had worked so hard and worked so much that he essentially fell asleep at the wheel. So definitely I get and I understand Ashley's kind of concern about him working hard. Definitely.
Right.
So I think they agreed to like get a hotel for the family near the event.
Right. So instead of him traveling an hour from Baltimore,
Yeah.
he can at least automatically get some rest, which I think is a great idea when
Yeah.
you're working, like she says, he working 18 hours and then trying to come home. That's a dangerous situation. So don't put yourself in there.
To me, that's really a no-brainer.
That's wisdom.
That's
If you're making all that money, what's having a hotel room where you can just crash?
right.
You can sleep it, and get up at 10 or
Because
11.
based upon, I'm thinking that they're DC suburbs, I think Potomac maybe area. So yeah, there's for him to be going back and forth all that weekend doesn't make sense.
No.
Just
It's
park
just
up at a
wisdom.
hotel
Yeah.
near the venue, be good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So then when we get pictures of or a video of Monique and Chris in Africa, and it looked
Right.
amazing. I'm definitely
Yeah, they're on a safari.
Yep.
They're enjoying their
they're in the
time.
Serengeti.
Yeah, so I think it's great for you to be able to share that with your kids, especially since they're homeschooled. She's using a lot of the curriculum as well from history to teach lessons and so I think it's great that they have opportunity to spend time together.
Yeah. Then Arena is having a conversation with her son Jason.
Yes.
And remember, Jason is the one who is vision impaired, right? And so he's trying to get into a program with one of the departments of the government to promote independence, kind of set him up for success.
Right.
Great.
Right. But it does take a lot of paperwork. I'm confused because right out of house, his senior year, that paperwork should have been done, and from our understanding, right? Because our kid also had some learning disabilities, right? And so when we knew he was coming out of high school and wanting to go to college, I made sure everything that we had in line or whatever we need to do. And so she's saying that now they had to put in additional paperwork. But I'm just curious if there's anything that happened between the period from him leaving high school until he's 21, why some of that stuff couldn't have been done ahead of time.
Because there is a gap, right?
Yeah, there is a large gap.
A gap that we don't know what's going on.
We don't know what happened between that time, and now he has to wait, and he's frustrated. Jason's like, I'm gone. I need to get away from y'all. I need to live on my own. I'm so tired of y'all. He was just like, I'm tired.
He's ready to roll.
I'm out. As soon as I know how to work with my disability and live on my own, I'll be fine. He's like, he is not worried.
So, because remember the previous episode, his dad kind of positioned it that he was wanting to get into DJing, and come to find out, Jason's like, I don't want to DJ. That's not me.
Desire to do any DJ.
That's not me. I like music when I was a kid, but that's not what I want to do now.
And I get it. You want him to socialize and get out of the house,
right?
There has to be some programs he can be involved in right now,
right?
Where he can meet friends. And again, if he went to a school for the blind, I would assume that he had some friends. So it'd be interesting to understand like how they did schooling for him.
What the dynamics were, yeah.
Right. And why he's not able to get out. Because I've seen a lot of those who are visually impaired or legally blind. I've seen them on the metro, getting on the metro bus, getting on the subway, going to work, functioning on their own, and no one's bothering them.
Right.
I think sometimes as parents, we want to shelter them because they feel like they might be taken advantage of, and they keep them sheltered when a lot of time they need to experience life. So I'm always thinking, I'm not going to be here.
Right.
Is my concern.
And it's again, this is kind of speculation because there are some things that I'm looking at and saying, I would think that some of these things would be in place even throughout like high school as far as some independent skills. I know, for example, counting money and how to navigate things of that nature. And so that's where I'm like, I don't know what's happening. And he expresses that he wants to work for Apple because he likes Apple products. So on Jason's side, though, I think that there is he has to be clearer about what he really wants to do, what interests him, and why that interests him. Because, and we'll get into it a little later, because there's some things I'm like, I don't understand all that,
Right.
right? So then Morena meets with Winter.
Mm-hmm.
They have a conversation.
Right. And Winter's excited, like, oh, the way Morena positioned it is like, hey, I want to get to
I wanna
know
get
you
to know you,
more
hang out.
individually. But the first thing that happens when
She's
Morena
like,
gets
so
it,
are you and Ashley
are y'all
okay?
good? Like, are you good, girl? Y'all gonna have a good relationship? And Winter's like, I thought you were here to get to know me. Are you just trying to get some tea?
Right.
So even though Ashley don't like tea, it seemed like you like a lot of tea. So Winter's just like, well, I just didn't like,
Mhm.
how she came off. It was a lot of energy involved in this. And I really want to move on about the relationship with my soon to be ex-husband.
Right.
I'm tired of talking about it. Y'all said y'all tired of talking about it. So let's talk about something else.
Then, of course, Winter brings up the fact that she's abstinent.
And she's 40
And she's 40 and abstinent.
Mhm.
So, evidently, since her relationship is
She's like,
broken up, she's like, look, I don't want to go to jail.
right.
So we're just going to cut all that off. It's great when it's there, but I'm just going to make sure it's not happening because she don't want to go to jail.
I don't understand what I have to do with jail.
I don't either, but
I was just like, what?
I don't, yeah.
I don't have to get you in jail.
I
I
yeah.
mean, but you could find it in jail. You find it in jail too.
There's a lot, yeah.
There's a lot going on.
We're going to keep it moving. And we're moving. We're moving.
But Arena doesn't want to go to jail, but she's seems like she's not getting enough foreplay at home.
Because, well, before that, Arena does start talking about how, that she explains what she meant by her dirt, right? So she says her dirt was not actual cheating, not emotional cheating.
Right.
It was just flirting. Well,
that is emotional cheating.
when I say emotional cheating,
Mhm.
and I just for the distinction, yes, she was flirting, she was sliding in DMs. Emotional cheating, to me, in my opinion, is a little more engaged.
Okay, like if she was sexting and
Right,
kind of
right.
more, okay.
There were feelings,
More
let's say,
intimate.
starting to develop and things
Okay.
of that nature.
Okay.
She's just, and really, in my opinion, a lot of it
Looking
was
for attention.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly. So she wasn't doing anything where she was sexting or anything like
Right.
that. She was just sliding in DMs.
Right.
And she got caught.
Like, why are you talking to these dudes?
And he hit her with the "my queen," like, "My queen, why are you doing that?" So that explains kind of the whole thing, because she's like, she didn't find anything, she didn't necessarily hear anything,
Right.
but she's like, that was her way of getting back at what she assumed was happening.
Right. 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 And then she tends to go on saying that, our sex life is not like it used to be, blah, blah, blah. And then Winter's like, I got the solution.
She like, I got a perfect friend.
Yeah, who's a sex therapist.
Right.
Right. And she's like, oh, yeah, tell me more. Maybe that's what we need.
Because what their issue is, at least according to Arena, is that they have differing drives.
Right.
So he's like, I'm ready to go whenever.
Right.
She's not.
She's the gas stove. I mean, nothing's changing that dynamics, but she feels like he needs to take more time. Let's do some foreplay, some build up, instead of just rolling over and just thinking I'm going to be ready to go. And so she's like, I feel like maybe I could do a little bit better, but also I need him to put a little bit more romance into it.
Yeah.
So.
So this was a Arena heavy episode, because it was like the cameras just followed her all the way around.
Right.
So then, because of the conversation that she had with her son Jason, she's having family dinner.
Yes. And trying to do a seafood bowl.
She can't cook.
But I'm like, you can boil water. That's why I thought she decided to do the seafood, because only thing she had to do is put seasoning in the pot.
Put a little Old Bay in there.
And put it. Now, someone need to take that Pam spray away from her. Because her mama looking at her like, I know I taught you better. I had to teach you something. Why are you spraying Pam in a big pot of boiling water right now? She looked at her. She's like, I'm not going to even talk to you because I might ruin your career on this TV if I open my mouth. That's what Mama looked like. She's like, what?
Yeah, it
She stopped. So,
because the seafood boil really is difficult in my opinion to mess up unless you just put no seasoning in there.
right,
You do nothing, right?
right, right,
So it was probably yes the easiest thing for her to do.
right. And she's making an effort,
Right.
right? Because she wanted Jason to share with his dad. And Jason was like, I don't want to share this. And then again, when you're talking about him speaking up,
hmm
because he's like, I think I want to have this conversation with dad
Right.
by myself. But now the dinner's already started.
Dinner's already started. She's like, so Jason doesn't want to DJ.
Well, not like that. Well, Jason has some ideas about what he want to do. And if you don't notice, when Jason don't want to talk about something, he tries to pinch their arm like, I'm gonna
hmm
squeeze your arm like I'm stop.
hmm
Like, this is your signal.
Right.
You can see, but for whatever reason,
Right.
you don't know what the warning sign is
Right.
going on.
I can't tell if you're looking at me and seeing the discomfort on my face.
Right.
So I'm going to cause you some discomfort by
Right.
pinching your arm to let you know.
Right.
Shut your mouth.
Right. But it ain't working.
But it ain't working.
Yeah. It's not getting across. Jason's like squeezing the arm, and they just keep talking. Like, that's your sign to be quiet.
And then the brother, and so he's like, okay, so what's the plan? Jamie's like, okay,
Right.
what's the plan?
Right.
What are we talking about?
Right.
Yes, school is the number one thing, but I'm also thinking about right now.
Something you can do
That's
at
not
this moment.
right. That's not happening right now. You still have some other things to
Right.
get accomplished. What can we do now to get you out the house more,
Right.
to get you more independent,
Right.
get some money in your pocket?
Right.
And then the brother and sister are like, yeah.
Well, no, they're really at odds because the older sister, she talks about, hey,
Well, yes, she does it. She does talk about, hey,
she started at that beginning.
but she also was like, yeah, that might be a good thing for you. You could do that, what have you. So she kind of flip flop, but it kind of helped her to see, yeah, you know what? I'm glad he's speaking up because I went and did whatever she did because
of what you said, and I still don't know what I want to do. So
that's a whole other thing.
Well, you just want to please your parents.
Mhm.
And some kids are like, I'm not going to fight you on this. You're paying for it, so I'm going to do it. But I think this is the greatest time for them to explore
Exactly.
and see, like, okay, what do you feel like? What's more comfortable? Where's your passion? Who you want to help? Whatever.
Mhm.
Because that first year of college, you don't know what you want to do.
I mean, our daughter went to school, well, actually all through high school,
thought she was going to
having
be
one career plan, right? Got to her first year of college, was like, yeah, no, that's not it.
Science. What?
Yes, she was going to be pre-med, but then realized she didn't like science.
She didn't like science.
But we didn't. We were like, okay, what do you want to do?
Right.
How do you want to move forward? So
Right.
she's found her career path, and she's moving forward.
Right.
Same thing with our son. Our son went to school,
Mm-hmm.
and now he's in the process right now of finding what really is working for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as parents, it's important that you give them that space to say, we'll support you.
Right.
Now, I'm not going to just support you sitting on the couch doing nothing.
Right.
But we are going to support you in finding what is going to be useful for you and where you're going to navigate towards as far as your career. So I'll support you, for the 4 years of college or 4 years or whatever it might be, as long as you're making those steps to move towards that.
Yep.
And so I think that's the important thing for Jamie with his kids. And now with Jason is, okay, you want to go to school? Great. What else are the things that are, spark your interest that we can help you move towards so that you can become independent and yes, be the great man that I think you can be.
Right.
So, then Quick and Ashley go on their date night with Jamie and Arena.
Right. So, which is called Spin.
Hmm?
I was like, okay, that might be a place we need to check out next time we go to DC. They have there's a lots of different games, right? So it's kind of like an outing where you have activities. But as they're there, Arena and Jamie shows up, and Arena's just like, I'm just want here to sit down, have a drink, and look cute. That's all I want to do. And so all of a sudden they talk about her interaction with Winter and how well that went. And this is the first time she's mentioning to Jamie about, hey, so by the way, she also talked about us going to having a sex therapist. Let's go to a sex therapist. And she's like, what?
Here's the thing.
Ashley and Quick was like, what?
Morena, it's like when the cameras come on, because you can see Jamie like.
No, she didn't. Why are you sharing this?
So it's like as soon as the cameras come on, Morena's like, I'm just gonna spill everything that is on the top of my mind relating to my relationship, and y'all gonna take it as it is. And who cares if it embarrasses my husband? I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, and he did seem embarrassed. He was just like, I don't know why you're sharing this right now. I don't think we need that, And then she didn't know what a sex therapist is. She's like, she's gonna teach us positions. Sex therapists do not teach positions.
No.
It's more about the mental and emotional behind your
intimacy and your connection.
Right. And why that connection is not connected.
Because Jamie was like, look, I'm ready to go like right now.
Right. Like, we can leave.
Jamie like, look, we can cut this date short now.
We can leave.
We can go ahead and handle some business.
Right. But then she also admits about feeling guilty that maybe, her being the cause of it, and them being on different pages.
Wavelengths, yeah.
Right. Concerning.
Because he was like, I'm trying to do this and she don't let me do that. So
right.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you.
Being married is complex in every aspect of it. And that's what he's saying. It's like, we've been married 30 years, right? And so learning new wavelengths and going through different areas, trying to find the balance in that.
Yeah.
And so I think, but Jamie's main concern is like, why are you sharing this right now?
Right.
Why is this coming up now in front of our friends?
Right.
Where those are conversations that they should have had on their own.
Right. Because they came to the thing together.
Right.
It would make more sense for them to have the conversation well before it comes on camera.
Right.
And then if they want to rehash it, he's involved in it, knows that this is where the conversation is going, and can do that.
Right.
But him being caught off guard, that's not a good look. I'm sorry.
Right. No, not at all.
So, and then
Monique.
Yeah.
Mocha. She mocha colored.
Monique and Chris.
Right.
Come back from Africa. She got the radio contract for WPGC.
Yeah, 95.5. Yeah. And so she's excited about that. And he's like, oh, babe, I'm so glad that you got that. They're trying to bring bags in because he's like, I'm tired. They got the change, the time change and everything going on, but they're unpacking. I'm like, y'all good. Because if I just got back,
listen,
I'll be in bed.
After the filming of this right now, I still have to unpack my bag from Atlanta last week.
I'm just saying, you're doing good if you unpacking. And then, then they try to start sharing about their trip to Africa. And she's like, I just feel like I was just, I left a part of myself there and blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, that's how I felt,
And they get into an argument over him saying, because initially she said, she was looking for more aha moments, what have you. And then in like the interview afterwards, she's like, I feel like I left a part of myself. You took my words. Okay, I left a piece of myself there. So they get into this whole argument about just the verbiage of what the Africa experience was.
Right. And you could, obviously, when you talk about something enough and you say it enough, your partner is going to pick up on it and use the same verbiage.
Right.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we definitely agree that we left our part of self there. And then, she goes on and asks about, epiphany, like what in your moment, did you get anything, did you get anything for us in your marriage? I'm like, how do you do that when you're with your kids and you're exploring to... I was like,
and he's like, no, I didn't. And she's frustrated that he doesn't feel the same way about the trip that she felt or what she was experiencing, right?
Well, she was more like, oh, you're not opening up to me. Right. You're not sharing. You didn't get nothing from it. But she didn't say what she got from it. So this is the problem when you have someone he looks like he's an introvert, right? We can probably, and if that person is not sharing the way you think they should share, she's shutting down and believing like he has to be on my timeline. He has to be able to come up with something because this is what we're working on. He should be focused on this when that shouldn't be the case.
And also, I mean, let's just be honest. If, as a man, I've been a man for all of my life.
Thank God.
As a man, one of the things I know is that for me, you can't always just ask me a question, especially when we're talking about what I feel, a deep, something that's going to take me some time to think about and to give you a genuine answer. You can't just ask me that cold and expect me to give you the best, most deepest, most open answer off the top. If you want to, sometimes, or especially if I'm in the middle of doing something, so they're unpacking. They may have just gotten back or recently
He said he was
back.
tired.
So he's tired. He's let you know that. So yeah, that may be a let's go out to dinner and talk about our Africa trip. And then that way I can be focused on the conversation at hand. But to ask me that and then get upset because I don't give you the response that you're looking for when I'm in the middle of unpacking clothes, I'm tired.
Right.
Doesn't work that way.
Right. And so then it caused her to shut down.
Right.
And so now she doesn't want to talk. And he's like, well, then what are we going to be filming? Us just taking out dirty clothes?
He at least tries to redirect and it's like, okay.
What's going on with your mom? Where we are on that.
Gives him the silent. He's like, all right.
It's a wrap.
Turn the cameras off.
And the producer's like, are you okay? He's like, I'm trying. He's like, I'm being honest. Right now, I can't come up with anything. I get it, but I'm not on her time schedule.
Right.
And that frustrates him, which closes him down even more. She's not realizing her and the way she's handling it is not helping the situation. And my thing is this, when you're in this place, you need to get some professional help. You need someone to help narrate, to both of you share what's going on in your story.
To help translate, because right now they're talking in some respects, they're not talking the same language. So they really need someone to help navigate and help to translate for them. So but that was it. They kind of cut it off there. Production ran in, kind of talking to both of them. So we'll see what happens. And then it looks like we have some issues popping off next week with Winter.
You didn't talk about, because when they did their cameo together on the couch, she was saying he needs to break down her walls and then going back and forth. And he was like, oh, okay, so that's what my job is, to break down your wall. No, it's not.
Right.
It's about you doing what you need to do to be present for your husband so that he has the opportunity to turn around and mirror what you're doing.
Yeah.
But when you both are being stubborn and saying, well, it has to be my way for it to get done, you don't accomplish anything.
It's not going to happen.
No. So that's the end of the episode.
So that's the end of the episode now. All right. So look, that's it for this one. We'll see you all next time. Have a great one. Be blessed.
Peace.